Let's get back to Canberra now and catch up with the Federal Shadow Resources Minister Susan McDonald. Thanks for joining us, Susan. We could have had Jeff Kennett back running in this election in Victoria. Pity that he didn't nominate, hey?
What a missed opportunity, I know, and I think he's saying that safe in the knowledge that he couldn't now. So, but what a ride that would have been.
Now, tell us about the resources sector and two big threats. We know that the Albanese Labor government is talking about some sort of tax on our fossil fuel exports, and now they've signed up to this United Nations climate change agenda, $2 trillion a year, and there are suggestions from activists that there should be a global tax on fossil fuels to fund that. Either way, the Australian industries are going to get hit, aren't they?
Oh, well, this is the crazy thing, is that we know Australian resources, coal and gas in particular, but all of our critical minerals are mined to the highest standards in the world. Our coal has the highest calorific value. It is still a critical component in creating steel, and we have the lowest emissions from our coal. So it makes absolutely no sense for Australia to step back from its production and to allow other suppliers to go to the market with higher emissions. This is an incredibly important industry for Australia, for the rest of the world. But in Australia, it brings in big dollars, it pays double the average wage, it supports regional towns and allows us to have this first world lifestyle that we have.
Well, what about what about Chris Bowen and therefore Anthony Albanese signing on to this UN agenda at Sharm el-Sheikh? We don't know what it's going to cost us or when. We just know that Australia's going along with it, and they'll want to keep going along with it because they want to get the next COP meeting. I mean, what damage could this do? When do we get to find out the costs and the timing of all this?
Well, that's exactly right. Australia has just signed up to a commitment with no idea of the costs, no idea who that they would be expected to pay the money to. I mean, there's not even a suggestion yet that some of the biggest emitters would be also coming to the table. It is complete madness. But, you know, you said Bowen and by extension Albo. I'm just not sure that the Prime Minister is in charge of his cabinet. We've got Madeleine King going off to Japan to reassure our trade partners that we are a safe, reliable trading partner. At the same time as you've got the Minister for Industry, the Minister for Climate, the Minister for Environment, all working as hard as they can against that agenda. I think that it's a very divided cabinet.
Just quickly, I want to get your response to the comments and allegations from the Green Independent Andrew Wilkie today. He's saying that there's been a fiction concocted about Australian coal, that it's not the cleanest, and that there are lies being told.
Well, these claims have been aired before. They've been shown to be patently untrue. Parliamentary privilege is that. It is a privilege. And if you're going to raise those sort of claims, raised by people who we know are keen to see coal and gas no longer extracted in this country, then I think we should be concerned. They are very serious allegations, and no doubt the trading partners of these companies are the ones who are best stated to examine their own product. But I think that this is a very serious allegation because Australia relies on royalties and taxes from this incredibly important industry of resources. We have no replacement industries. We will not be generating royalties and income tax from solar panels and wind farms. That is the truth. Yep. And so what is our plan to pay down debt to continue to pay for hospitals and roads and schools?
Susan McDonald, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Just a reminder, of course, Australia's the largest exporter of coal and the largest exporter of liquefied gas. So you want to kill off these industries, you want to be certain of two things. You want to be certain it's going to save the planet and change the climate, and you also want to be certain that we'll have an economy left afterwards.